Avast, they have the great octo weapons on their side. They have the great memes on their side. They have the power of the TikToks. At any rate, good work, Agent 3. Keep it up. It's a long road up to the great Zapfish. Okay, so our first boss is down. Anti-octopus weapon blueprints. Designer Amostus Schellendorf. Ammonites, Booyah Base, Wood Floor, Egopolis, 11... Wait, what? Research notes. Eh? Oh, so it's like lore that we're getting or something like that with that stuff? Oh, that'd be dangerous next to a whole bunch of squids inking all over the place, wouldn't it? That seems like it'd be dangerous. The gate is open. Let's head to the next area. Okay. Okay, I suppose. So, area 2 here now, huh? Look at this place. So that's going to be the boss thing. I need to save 6 Zapfish to get to that boss. Apparently. So we're going to have places all around here. Can I hit this thing, please? I guess maybe I could do it from here. I thought maybe I'd have to do it from the bottom. I did not even read the title of this level. We're just getting in there, I guess. We're just getting on in there. Where are we at? Propeller lift playground, whispers on the wind, huh? Okay. I guess we'll be on our merry way here. How about you do not, what did I just say? About stuff what not to do. Okay, so I actually gotta be on this platform and then... Yeah, let's just spray ink into the propeller. That sounds about right. Checkpoint, okay. Hi there, friends. Bombs away. Hi, friendos. You want to maybe not do things? Cool. Sink me. You did it. You did the thing. You shot all the super generic enemies and stuff. It's crazy. You totally the best. Ow. Rude. This is what I get for bum rushing things. We didn't die, though. We didn't die, so I haven't been super hard punished for bum rushing things yet. It will happen, but it hasn't happened yet. Okay. So now we go across? Why does this feel like something I'd see in Mario Galaxy? Moving platforms across like this. Move it with a propeller. Something like that. Except there's no way to call on the power of wind in Mario Galaxy as far as I know. But still feels like Mario Galaxy-esque. The platform is like this. Hi, friends. Hi there. Yeah, you have no idea that I vanish into thin air. Just like my freaking hopes and dreams of ever getting through all the games that I want to on this channel. Just always vanishing. Zapfish is up there. Up we go. Where does that move you? That moves you over here, apparently. Go up. Hi. Hi, how are ya? Hi, how's it going? Boobity bop. Move that down. That is how propellers work, by the way. You can totally quote me on that. Most definitely. No. I must go up, up and away. I'm flying. I'm flying. I always think of that freaking... We got another thing. I always think of that one SpongeBob episode where he puts the freaking blow dryer into his pants. And all of a sudden, he's the Birdman. And then there's a Cannonball Jenkins. I'll get that. You darn kids in their flying machines. My goodness. That's what I think of there. I can upgrade gear on the gamepad. Welcome back, Guzma. How is it going today? Did you have a good day at work? And what? Okay, so this is upgrade stuff. Increase rate of fire. That's probably going to be important. So maybe I should save up for that right now. Maybe. Up we go. But yeah, so is the first Splatoon basically the same as Splatoon 2? I don't know. I'm still very new to this here. It seems like a similar level design kind of thing. I know that Splatoon 2 added a whole bunch more weapons and used like the Switch controller smart motion. This has motion controls as well though, which I thought was introduced in Splatoon 2. Apparently it was introduced in Splatoon 1. Oh, what is on the map in Splatoon 1? I haven't actually looked down here yet. It's apparently like just a map of the stuff. You can see a little bit of my open tab there and the stream manager. So yeah, the game looks like I was right. The gamepad screen really is not that important for this playthrough. So when we get to games like Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess HD, Xenoblade Chronicles X, I'm probably gonna... That's an Octo Striker! Where I'm probably gonna emulate them rather than play them on the original hardware. Just so that I can actually show the gamepad screen as well. But it's really not important for this game. So my actual Wii U it is. Because, I mean, doing it on my actual Wii U is the easiest thing I could do for all those games. But it's definitely really nice to, you know, actually be able to display the Wii U gamepad. But it's not needed for this game, it doesn't seem like. So, that's perfectly fine. And that means I get to actually use the motion controls properly. I mean, you could probably set it up in an emulator like that as well, but bada bing, bada boom. But yeah, it was alright. Had some drama stuff that happened with Other Cook, but it wasn't used, just immature. I had a really short temper. But something that is hopefully worked out now and whatnot. Oh no. Boopity bop. Smackaroo you. Like, it feels very, very similar so far. Like, I don't have the most experience in Splatoon 2. And by the most experience, I mean, like, I've just done the main story and, like, a little smidge of multiplayer stuff in Splatoon 2. I got to level 10. I was level 9 as of recently, but I got to level 10 when I was playing with Tailwinds recently. Was the thing. Whoa. So, there's that. There's that whole set of shenanigans. Let's boopy bop you. Yes, nice. Very nice. Cool. And then we go through here. So I'm not exactly a Splatoon expert. I probably do not have a massive ton of hours in Splatoon 2. But they do feel like very similar games so far. But I mean, it made sense for oh, I'll just go right through that. Hi there. It made sense to bring another game with like the same IP onto like another console and whatnot, with Splatoon 1 on the Wii U and then Splatoon 2 on the Switch. What I don't understand still is Splatoon 3. I mentioned when it was first released, or first revealed. And I'll mention it here again. I don't get it. Like, a bunch of people that actually play, like, Splatoon a lot have talked to me and been like, oh my goodness, the trailer revealed so many new weapons and stuff like that. But someone like me, an outsider looking at that, is like, why wouldn't they just add those new weapons into Splatoon 2 then? Or, like, new maps and stuff like that? Why does it need, like, a whole nother game? Like, Splatoon 1 and 2 makes sense. They're across different consoles, you know? They're across completely different consoles. So to have another game in the same IP on, like, the next generation in this multiplayer game. But, like, with a lot of other Nintendo IPs, you typically just see, like, one game per console. Like, Smash Bros. Is one game per console. Freaking Mario Kart is one game per console. Stuff like that, where it's, like, each console is going to have, like... I think I recognize this-ish from Splatoon 2 a little bit. So I kind of don't get it with Splatoon 3. I mean, that's kind of what the point of doing things in order is as well. By covering Splatoon 1, then 2, then 3. Is, oh look, there's Octolings, you racist piece of crap, Captain Cuttlefish. Like, maybe I'll understand. Maybe I'll play those all and be like, wow, this is so different. I'm so glad that I picked up, like, these additional games because these are so different. But I don't know if that's going to be the case. I don't know if that's going to be the case. Again, people that I know that actually play Splatoon are hyped for Splatoon 3 and are like, whoa, look at how much new stuff there is. That's so cool. Look at all these new weapons and stuff. But me looking in, maybe it's just because I'm an outsider looking in. I don't get it. I don't get it. Maybe as we play through these all here, I'll get it. We shall see. But yeah, left 2 hours early because unless it's temper left you to do the cooking by yourself for the rest of the night. I'm just even more upset with him and not with you, so he wasn't too worried. Said it wasn't managed tonight though, so it was pretty slow. So at least it was a pretty slow night today. I'm sorry that you had to go through that today. I'm sorry about that. But that's about it. Yeah, Splatoon 1 and 2 seemed extremely similar. I feel like Splatoon 3 might be similar. Because I mean, yeah, they are freaking, whoa. Just like the next version of this multiplayer dang IP for Nintendo and whatnot, which in my eyes made me think that you know, it'd be a one game per console kind of situation is what I thought. Apparently I thought wrong. But again, even if Splatoon 1 and 2 are very similar, it makes sense to have like one on each freaking console. The initial one coming out on the Wii U, and then the Switch is coming out, so it's like, okay, let's have one on the Switch so that people can play on like the latest hardware and play our IP, you know? But that's why I don't get Splatoon 3. Again, maybe I'll get it when we get there in the series as we're covering things. So yeah, that's what I was thinking there. Maybe because I mean, when you have something that's like a brand new game, it's like, whoa, this is something new that I can get into, or like maybe I wasn't that into Splatoon 2, but now Splatoon 3 is my chance to really get into it. I mean, when new games come out for something, that's always like a big opportunity for like more people to get into it. Both like players of the series in the past and players that haven't played in a long time. Like, for example, when freaking Assassin's Creed Valhalla was announced, I haven't played a new Assassin's Creed game in a long time. Like, Assassin's Creed games are way more different to one another compared to, you know, something like Splatoon. But regardless, I hadn't played the game series in a long time. I saw that, I was like, whoa, this actually looks pretty cool. I kind of want to play that. Unfortunately, because of, as we've established earlier this stream, my enjoyment of doing everything on this channel in order. Well, that means that we got to do like the whole rest of the Assassin's Creed series first. And we're going to be starting Rogue tomorrow, is the thing. At the time of streaming this, at least. I don't know what the upload schedule is going to look like in terms of uploading this stuff onto YouTube. But in terms of like actually playing this, we're starting Assassin's Creed Rogue tomorrow, which I'm actually really looking forward to. And it's already been a lot of games to get through to get to this point, but there's cases like that. Imagine if, let's just say for argument's sake that Assassin's Creed is the exact same game like every time. I would still look at a new release and be like, okay, yeah, this is my chance to get into it again. So, in a way, it makes sense from that kind of marketing stance. And what, I like updates or DLC rather than making a third. Well, there was DLC for Splatoon 2. There was the Octo expansion, which I've never actually played before. I've heard good things about it, but I've never actually played it before. And it does sound like Splatoon 2 was, like, updated, like, and kept in service for, like, a good while, but... Okay, so we can do that. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe it is entirely different. I mean, it'll be, like, the same engine and everything. People have been telling me that it's there's a whole bunch of new weapons and stuff, and I assume there'll be new maps. Is it really enough to constitute a new, a whole new game? I wonder. Like, I assume there'll be like a whole new bit when it comes to the story and what's being told there, considering there are story modes. But these story modes that we play in Splatoon 1 and 2, they're not exactly the main focus of these games. The main focus of these games is like the multiplayer, the PvP, rather than the single player stuff. So, you know, continuing to build up the story in this series isn't too important. It's not like it's a freaking 70-hour JRPG series like something like Xenoblade Chronicles, where it's like, whoa, how is this story gonna continue? It's rather, hey, here's a game where the focus is on PvP multiplayer, where they all feel very similar. But, like, there's a single player thing as, like, a side thing, so I don't get it. I don't get it. We shall see. Yeah, it'd be really cool if, like, Splatoon 3 had, like, even greater character customization or something like that. I know that you can customize your clothes around. In Splatoon 2, at least, I assume in 1 here as well. I assume so. Well, we have 2 more thingamabobs to go. It could well be. The people that I know that actually play Splatoon do seem hyped about it, though, so we'll see what happens. We'll cover it on the channel. We'll see if it, really is something vastly different, or if it is, like, the same game again. Because, again, Splatoon 1 and 2 makes sense. They're across different consoles. Freaking, here's the first one on the Wii U, introducing the IP, and then the Switch is coming out. Okay, let's make a game actually available on that platform for people to get into our new multiplayer IP. But why another one? It's like, imagine releasing like another Smash game on the Switch. How weird that'd be. Like multiple Team Fortress games with different maps that still have the same characters. I still don't understand why there hasn't been a Team Fortress 3 yet. Like, that's a case where it's like, I've never actually played TF2, so maybe I'm not an expert in that field. Is the thing. But in something like that, I don't get it because of how vastly popular that was. And how long it's been stuck at TF2, and how dated I hear that game is nowadays. Like, my goodness. Who is the freaking developers and publishers of TF2 again? Because I actually don't remember, because I've never actually played it myself. And people always freaking look at that part of me and are like, what? You've never played TF2? How is that possible? You have to have played TF2, but I've never played TF2. But considering how long it's been out, hi silly doggy. I guess the doogie's ready to relax here with me for the night. Seems like. Oh, adjust the doogie cam. There we go. There we go. But yeah. And I never hear anybody ever talking about Team Fortress 1. Whatever that's like. Can't say I've looked into it before. Can't say I have. Excuse me, friendos. I've got places to be, if you don't mind. Yeah, the doogie is quite relaxed. Quite relaxed. Whoa. Let's make our way over. Yeah, hide in the sponges and, whoa. I wasn't sure what I could do there. Hide in the sponges and let him go past, huh? Well, I can't, snipe that from here. How about you don't? What do I do here? What? I'm so confused. There's only 2, but you're saying that if you had 3 or 4, but it was the exact same style as TF2 and basically just TF2 all over again, they may as well call it TF3 and TF4. That's how you feel like Splatoon 3 might be compared to Splatoon, what? You mean to Splatoon 2? Or the series in general up to this point? Yeah, I'm not liking what's going on here. Okay. I'm not liking how this is going, quite frankly. So something more like that, I guess? Or something like that? And Splatoon 1 not being on the Switch, and then Splatoon 2 being on the Switch, but Splatoon 2... Yeah, like, I would have thought that they would have waited for, like, whatever the next console would be down the line. Like, just keep supporting Splatoon 2 for, like, its life cycle. And then eventually release a Splatoon 3. Like, whenever, boopity bop. Whenever the day comes that the next console comes out. So, I don't quite get it. I don't quite get it. Again, that's part of the reason that we're doing this and going through this series here. Maybe as we go through this series, I'll get it. Maybe. No. Stop. Maybe I'll get it, and they really will feel vastly different. But we shall see. Also, I might not be getting, like, as much of a different kind of feel as most actual avid Splatoon players, considering we're going to be focusing on, like, you know, doing a full playthrough of the single player kind of stuff, and not necessarily doing, you know, ranked PvP until I get to, like, super high ranks and try to be, like, a super good Splatoon player or anything like that. That's not going to happen. That is not at all my plan there. But yeah, so with what experience we're getting here, which is, you know, much more limited experience compared to if I had instead decided to switch between bomb types that you've unlocked. No. Doesn't do anything. The D-pad doesn't do anything. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, Captain Cuttlefish. Like, again, I'm not getting the experience of somebody that's investing time into this, actually trying to, like, climb the ranks and be, like, a super competitive player and stuff like that. That's not what I'm gonna be doing here. So I'm not gonna, like, understand it quite as intimately as somebody in that kind of, in those shoes, in that mindset, you know? But, you know, with a rough outsider's perspective, after doing a playthrough of the single player stuff, we'll see what I feel like and whatnot. Yeah, maybe there's more that meets the eye. There are a lot of people really hyped about Splatoon 3. I mean, there's a lot of people that get, like, so hyped about, like, news about any game series that they're so invested in, no matter what it is, even if it's not what should be expected. Just look up Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, for example, but that's neither here nor there. Let's go ahead. Hey, what the heck do you think you're doing? You kind of remind me of the scuba zombies in Plants vs. Zombies that you reminded me of there. Maybe I just go up this way. Oh yeah, mash X to go faster there. You know, I've mentioned on this channel before that I sometimes have issues with my left wrist. It's your favorite food, bucko? Mine be Krabby Cakes, Krabby Patties. I've mentioned before that I sometimes have issues with my left wrist. It's usually nothing I have to worry about on stream or anything like that. But managing the Wii U gamepad and with motion controls is actually, like, making my left wrist act up a little bit. So I'm gonna try, like, taking it easy, I guess. So does this wipe away my, it does wipe away my yellow. Is what's going on. Like, if my wrist actually starts getting into, like, serious pain, we might have to have these sessions be, like, shorter than I had initially planned, because this is actually starting to hurt my left wrist a little bit. My freaking problem area that got me, one of the main reasons that got me, I was stuck in physiotherapy for freaking half a year. The other one being my right hip issues that, you know, aren't going to be happening when I'm playing video games or anything like that. And I didn't think that freaking left wrist issues would be happening while playing video games either. But I guess motion controls with this very specific Wii U gamepad control, with this very specific controller being the Wii U gamepad, then as my issues are coming up. Usually I only have issues with my left wrist when I'm bending it back, but not this time, I guess. Yeah, Pokemon's an example of that, but still, I see a lot of people complaining and memeing the Sinnoh remix quite a lot more than than actually being hyped about it. Yeah, I mean, I'm still receiving comments on a daily basis that are, like, very much a mixed bag about the whole thing. Some people being like, oh my goodness, this dudo that made this video is, like, so right. Let's keep on commenting to, like, help him out in the algorithm. and some people that hate my guts that are like, oh my gosh, how dare you say anything negative about our Lord and Savior Pokemon. Who dares? You're literally such an awful human being that shouldn't even be allowed to make videos. Is how a lot of people treat things. And also a lot of people that just seem like very confused about things. Like, I got a comment on that video literally earlier today with somebody being like, I don't understand how this video can exist when the remakes aren't even out yet. And it's like, okay, people can criticize stuff like the national decks being cut before Sword and Shield come out, because that's announced, publicly known information. And in my video that criticized the modern state of Pokemon, I never freaking claimed that Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are bad games or anything like that. We're not gonna know until it's released. But I do claim with the information that we currently have that it's not the same style as remakes in the past expanding on modern standards. It's instead just scaling up what was there before. And that's the thing that I can criticize already. But there's a lot of people that have like this mindset of like, you're not allowed to criticize something until it's out. You're not even allowed to criticize the information that's already revealed about it because it's not out. It's not until you get like the entire full story that you can criticize. You're not allowed to criticize the bits and pieces that have already been publicly revealed and known for a good while. But yeah, what if Splatoon 3 was basically like Splatoon 2? I feel like people who are invested in those games wouldn't be that upset, but if it came to Pokemon, then yeah, people would be upset, which kind of sucks a bit. I mean, there are going to be people that always defend Pokemon no matter what. Is the thing. I've seen plenty of it in the comments there. And I've been thinking for a good while now about making a video essay on the modern state of like AAA games in general. And essentially having like a video essay titled something along the lines of like, have AAA games lost their passion? With the answer being like, no, but it's becoming a lot harder to see it sometimes. And the reason for that is like many factors. Games are getting like more and more ambitious all the time. They're getting bigger and bigger budgets. Like you look at games nowadays and they're technically making more revenue than games in the past as the gaming industry is getting larger. But these projects are also taking like more years of development time. And what the hell are you? They're taking more years of development time and they're using larger staffs. So when you factor in like, you know, the amount of people working on a game over time, then the games nowadays, like on average, are actually making less revenue than games in the past. Even though on paper, they're making more revenue than in the past. Because they're taking longer to make with like freaking much larger production staffs and whatnot, they're actually making less revenue. And freaking making very, very spicy games nowadays gets very, very expensive. And if you don't have a project go the way that you want to, that's a massive hit. Like, look at something like Skull and Bones, for example, which Ubisoft started developing shortly after Assassin's Creed 4, after the success of that game. And, that thing's been in development for like 8 years now, and it's just been in like development hell for like a very, very long time. And I've read articles on that game, and it very much sounds like the developers of that game are getting like very, very discouraged about if their game is ever gonna see the light of day, and their motivation is hella down because they keep seeing stuff that they're working on, you know, being thrown out the window because they can't even decide what their game is, and yada yada. And it's gotta be really discouraging, like working on something for so long and not seeing it come to fruition. And it's apparently estimated that Ubisoft has invested like roughly 120 million into this project that's been in development hell for 8 years and might never see the light of day. Like, that's crazy to think about. So, like, when it comes to the modern gaming industry nowadays, like, if you have something fail, like, it's a massive hit. So, you see a lot of game companies electing to play it as safe as possible and not take risks anymore. Because if you take a risk, what if it doesn't turn out right? What if people don't like the risk that you took? Like, some big games will still take risks. Like, look at Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild tried out a completely new style of gameplay for the Zelda series, and it turned out great. Freaking Breath of the Wild gameplay was awesome. People love that. But most game developers aren't going to be willing to take that kind of risk, and we don't really see that at, like, mainstay Nintendo, and even at a lot of other developers. So we start seeing a lot of game companies, instead of taking risks and like trying to continue to advance, they'll just like stick with what's already sold before, either in their own IP or through like other similar IPs. And I feel like that's what we're seeing in Pokemon nowadays with the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl remakes, where it's like, why take risks and try to like advance things when we can just for sure go with what sold before? Like, if you take risks with something like Breath of the Wild, then you absolutely have the potential to make like the most profit by taking something that's so risky and out there and blows everybody away. But if you but you also have the potential for everybody to hate it and think that it's the most awful thing ever. And there are definitely cases like that with other game series, even other Nintendo series. Like we see that with games like Metroid Other M, for example, trying out something completely new and it just like failing. So I feel like a lot of game companies are like, why even take they have the option of taking a risk for like higher, like potential high reward, but also potential like high insane amounts of money lost. Or the other option, option B, just play it safe, just go with what's sold before, where it's not going to sell as well as if we had taken a risk that people love, but it's still gonna sell, like, well, is what's gonna happen. So I feel like within the AAA gaming space a lot nowadays, we see less AAA companies taking risks, and we're starting to see that more in cases like Pokemon as well. Where it's like, why take risks with, you know, developing Diamond and Pearl in a new way and just develop the exact same way that it sold before rather than risking. Because again, if you don't have a game sell well, that's a massive hit. Like, I'm sure that they knew that there would be massive backlash with Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, but they were like, okay, but if we do this, it'll still at least, like, sell well. So let's go. I mean, what, even with Pokemon, even if you take risks, kind of like we're seeing with Legends Arceus, it's still gonna sell well because it's Pokemon. So maybe with the case of Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, it's not more so of like, they're worried that taking risks won't make profit, but it's easier just not to do it in the first place and just stick with what's worked in the past. But for a lot of other IPs that aren't the largest grossing media IP in the world, like Pokemon, you do see risks not being taken just purely because it's like, okay, if we take a risk and this doesn't work out, then that's going to like really, really suck for us. With Pokemon, no matter what you do, it's always going to sell well. It's literally the largest grossing media IP in the world. But with a lot of games in the AAA space, we don't really kind of see that. And we see most of the risk-taking within the gaming industry going on nowadays is usually with indie developers that don't have to worry about that, like, risk of being out millions to hundreds of millions, you know? Anything like that. So we see, like, more indie developers taking risks and more AAA developers playing it safe and just pumping out the same game, like, every year or two. And maybe that's what we'll be seeing with Splatoon. Who knows? Anyway, that's how I feel about that. But yeah, when you mean butthurt, you mean both sides. People defend, people who complain about it. Just gotta play the game if you enjoyed it, playing it regardless of what it looks like, then you'll feel like it's worth your money. I feel like when it comes to that whole situation, if I play it and it feels different enough than our Platinum playthrough that we're currently in the middle of on this channel, then hey, maybe it'll be worth it. But if it feels like the exact same thing that I'm just playing with a Platinum right now, like it seems like it may well be, then I'll just be like, why did I pay more money for that? It's kind of like what we're worried about with Splatoon 3 right here. Is what if it's like, it feels almost the same as Splatoon 2 is what I'm worried about. What if freaking Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl feels the exact same as Platinum? Like, of course, Splatoon 3 is gonna feel a little bit more different. It's not like it's a remaster of Splatoon 2 or anything like that, but you know what I mean, essentially. But yeah, let's just see here. But yeah, not in your control. Anyone's control to decide how a game should look, except the developers of that game and the fans have to accept that, I guess. But like, the fans and consumers are the ones that are actually directly, you know, the freaking direct beneficiary, or what's the opposite of beneficiary? The ones that are directly being affected is the thing with the product. It's not really as much the developers that are as affected by what they're making as the consumers who are actually, you know, freaking paying their hard-earned money to play that game in the first place and deciding if they feel like they got their money's worth, you know? So I feel like when you listen to fans too much, it can let a project get out of hand. That's what we call like a design by committee, when you have like too many people all vying to work on the project at once and try to factor in like everybody's opinion. That's what it sounds like has gone wrong with Skull and Bones, with that game being in development hell for like 8 years. From what it sounds like, it sounds very much like that game has had like a bazillion different people all trying to inject their own vision that are completely different from one another, and has got that game stuck in freaking development hell and $120 million down the drain just like that. So like, it is you don't want to take everybody's opinion too much too seriously. But at the same time, I don't like when people are just like, oh, just let the developers do whatever the hell they want, because I've gotten comments on my Pokemon video essay that are just like, oh, how would you know what's better for the series? They're the ones that are the experts, they're the developers, so you should just blindly accept whatever they decide, because that's the best option for you. They're the experts after all. It's like, okay, yeah, they're the experts at charging $25 a year to be able to manage Pokemon in a modern format with Pokemon Home. Yeah, they totally have my best interests in mind. Like, I feel like the developers at the end of the day are going to be like the experts of what to do, but sometimes they're not. Like, there's a super secret. Developers aren't always, and companies aren't always going to be going out of their way to make the best possible game that they can. They're going to be going out of their way to make the best profit that they can. And if they can cut costs to do that better, they absolutely will. So I absolutely cannot agree with, like, the argument of, you know, freaking let massive freaking IPs do whatever the hell they want without giving them any criticism, because they're the experts and they totally have our best interests in mind, because they don't. But at the same time, as a large developer, I think it's important to see what your fans are saying as a whole, not factor in every single opinion into your gameplay, because that's when you have like too much of a design by committee and then there's too much of a mishmash and everything falls apart. I know that you're not saying that. There are people on the interwebs and in the comments of that one video essay that do feel that way, is all I'm saying. And I've just had like these pent-up frustrations over the course of months of people commenting the same crap over and over again on that video. Yeah, to absolutely have a balance. Like, it's important to listen to your fans. Like, that's something that I covered in my Roller Coaster Tycoon video essay, for example, is like Atari never listening to their fans and just doing whatever they can to make a quick buck off of the dead horse that is Roller Coaster Tycoon, for example. But we're seeing a similar thing with Pokemon, except it's not dead. It's just not in the state that made it the highest grossing media IP in the world anymore, is the thing. Because it became the largest grossing media IP in the world because of two reasons. One, being able to make a team of whatever you want. Like, any Pokemon that exists, you can make a team of whatever the heck you want. You can make your own dream team. As wacky as you want it to be, you can make it. You see somebody else using a Pokemon, you can get your own and freaking add it to your team. Like, absolutely. Or you see, like, a Pokemon in the anime, in the TV show as a kiddo, and you, are like, wow, I really like that Pokemon Shuckle, I should get it and add it to my team. You could do that. Get it in, like, a trade on the GTS or something like that. So that's the first reason. You can't do that anymore because you can't even have every Pokemon in Sword and Shield, and if you want to manage all your modern Pokemon, then you need to be paying freaking $25 a year with Pokemon Home, is the case. And the second aspect that made Pokemon the largest grossing media IP in the world is the interactability. In the past, anybody that had like the same generation of game could trade with each other. Somebody that had like Diamond, Pearl, Platinum could trade with anybody with like Heart, Gold, Soul, Silver. Anybody that had like X and Y could trade or battle with someone with Omega Ruby, Alpha, Sapphire, stuff like that. If you had like in the same generation of games, you could play with one another to your heart's content. Nowadays, Let's Go can interact with each other and that's it. Sword and Shield can interact with each other and that's it. And Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl will only be able to interact with each other and that's it, considering freaking there are a lot of Pokemon not available in Sword and Shield, including a lot of Generation 4 ones that are almost certainly going to be in Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, like the Starly line, so they literally can't interact with each other. So that interactability and customizability that made the series so massive is gone. Like, they're not there to the same extent that made it the world's largest grossing media IP anymore. That made the series so famous in the first place. We no longer see those aspects flushed out like they used to be that made the series famous, you know? But yeah, let's see, yeah. But yeah. Let's see here. I think the main problem is because they still like to think the majority of their audience is kids, like take the direction of Pokemon anime, for example. Why else would they have a lot of their games look chibi style and extremely easy nowadays? I feel like difficulty settings would be really nice. Like, I believe it was Black 2, White 2 that experimented with that. That'd be cool. But I feel like a lot of it is cutting production costs. Because, again, like, as games get more ambitious as time goes on, production costs are getting greater and greater. Staff sizes are getting greater and greater. The technology is getting more and more expensive to make these games in the first place. So why take risks and make something like out there and absolutely incredible? Why take the time to make the best product you can make when you can make something that you can make fairly easily and not have to worry about, you know? Something that's still gonna sell pretty well is what it's like. And we see that a lot in the AAA gaming space a lot nowadays. Like, playing a couple indie games recently has had me really consider my whole stance on the gaming industry, but